Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Happy Saturday. I'm here to channel a message for us today. I've attempted to record this numerous times, and for whatever reason, there's a lot of interference. So I'm going to try again and see if we're able to succeed in this attempt here. So just give me a second here. I'm just going to clear with light language with my intentions here and reset the energetics here for us. Because I'm setting the intention that I really only want to attract viewers that are open to receiving this specific message right now, and to assist with us collectively who are at this stage in our journey to be able to move forward with the least amount of interference as possible. There's definitely issues with the throat chakra. I've really been struggling this morning trying to clear my throat, and it's difficult, but we'll get there. You see all those blue crystals there on that beautiful piece of selenite. That's our timeline. So there's ways already. I'm going to start the message now. There's ways that we struggle with communication that really prevents us from being able to move forward or feel safe and secure in our world and in our life. And it's really, really hard. Especially when you are a higher divine being that emanates the light that you emanate. So very oftentimes light workers and empaths and higher divine or higher vibrational beings, that carry these codes are here to assess themselves, but everything in their environment to evolve and grow. So we are mirrors. We help people channel. We help people face some very difficult things that they wouldn't normally be able to face without your presence in their environment. So it's not always comfortable. And so you have to do even more work to be strong as you can be, and separate yourself as much as possible from that matrix, because you have that higher understanding, that higher evolved consciousness that should help you navigate those situations in a way that you can free yourself and not get caught up if, say, they refuse and stay in that energy, or have a really negative reaction and they project onto you. That can be really, really hard. But just know that you're not responsible for other people's feelings. If you participate in a way where you've caused harm in any way that's different, you do need to atone for that, but certainly step away if it's a situation where there's projection happening, because nobody deserves that. And you'll understand, for those of you who are here listening today, you'll understand, and you'll perhaps be reminded here to continue to do work to help you strengthen those skills that you have to protect yourself from that, okay? Because Christmas is coming. For those who celebrate the Christmas holiday, with the true meaning of Christmas, really, it's because it's not just about presents. That's one part of it, but certainly it's the birth of Christ, right? And Yeshua's birth. So it's always very difficult, and like that light that he carried and still carries today through the spirit world, it's very powerful. And it brings opportunity for like soul growth, for healing. He's a portal, right? So if you connect to his energy, you can really assist with anything that you need. You just need to ask. But certainly we know how triggering his energy was. And he came at the exact perfect time that this plane and this world required at the time to shine light on the darkness that was present, that was otherwise hiding in all these different systems and archetypes, and it was required. So for those of us who carry and connect to that type of energy, we are carriers as well, and we could be descendants, however you resonate with that, or however it's been shown to you. You'll understand again what I was explaining earlier about the impact your light has, okay? Because I believe that we're all dispatched in very prescribed areas in the world, because it's all grid work, it's all grid related, and you're responsible for that area with the template that you carry. Okay, so The archetype here, are the main energy that I was focused on, is that Queen of Wands there. So, she has been working hard this morning, and this is the part of you that is traumatized because of any, by embodying that energy and that archetype, there could have been some trauma, okay? And I'm talking about situations where there was a power over. So either one or multiple energies would have collaborated together to cause harm, okay? In very, very destructive ways. And I don't want to channel too much about the trauma itself or details about the trauma. You'll know. Okay, this queen is very fiery, is very beautiful, is very attractive, is very smart, is very intelligent, is very compassionate, but she's very diligent. She knows how to protect herself. She's a warrior, okay, and a goddess in her own right. And the passion, okay, it's off the charts. And a healthy Queen of Wands will share this with her chosen counterpart. And so oftentimes this energy can be very attractive and can trigger other energies out there. And sometimes I think that's where really egregious things would have occurred here, unfortunately. And so today is an opportunity to heal, even from past lives, that and because that trauma was still embedded in the auric field and the etheric realm, but that's attached to you. You would have carried that. You would have, with this incarnation, brought that in with you, and there could have been a repeat in perhaps a smaller way, but still, nevertheless, very traumatic because it would have triggered and compounded past trauma. So just know that today, with the crystals here, I've set everything up in a way that's safe for you to be able to release the trauma that's trapped in the fields. This is the energy work that we're doing. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. Okay, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist. That work that's done through those modalities will obviously be very important as well, and supportive if you choose to resonate with that way of doing healing as well. I'm talking about being able to work in that energetic field. That's what I'm talking about, okay? So it's simply energy, and we're just releasing what's trapped there. And you see the bridge that I created here, and in order for you to access the codes that are within this crystal here, that will then be sent to you, viewer, to release, and then it'll create a protective layer and shield until that healing process is fully completed. And this clear smoky quartz, a mixture of clear quartz and smoky quartz, is protecting the lower part of your structure, your energetic structure here, but that your physical being in the middle of that etheric structure and that energetic field also will benefit and will be safeguarded while you do this work, okay? But you've risen above. Do you see how you're higher up than these other cards here? Okay, because you have to do this. You are, and you've done it. It's just today, I think it's to help release any lingering blocks. Like I said, if you've posed questions recently to yourself, if you've noticed like a repeated pattern of very uncomfortable or awkward situations where there's energy out there that is taking advantage or takes it upon themselves to make inappropriate comments to you about things that you wouldn't normally do, unless you're sending out that message, meaning, if you're single and you're out there and you're dating, you would send and if you notice somebody, you might, in a very appropriate way, start talking to someone and make eye contact in a way that might be a little bit different than you would somebody that you just have a platonic relationship with. that's how it starts. What I'm talking about is situations where you're not emanating that, and there's an energy out there that approaches and that in an inappropriate way abuses and steps into your field in some capacity and says or does something that is not welcomed by you at all. That's an abuse of power. And some people walk around out there so wounded, they're not even conscious that they do that. And some are and do it on purpose. I believe some aren't unnecessarily doing it on purpose. Well, they are, but maybe nobody's ever really called them out on it to say, listen, that is not appropriate. And you shouldn't be talking like that. Because I'm talking about people that aren't sending out those cues. Okay, there are people that are. And if you are, and that's how you're engaging with somebody and it's reciprocal, then there's no harm being done there. Okay, I'm not talking about those situations. I'm talking about the other ones. So my hope after today is that with that healing, hopefully that isn't going to happen as much. And if it does, maybe we can ask for support in order to assist us in being able to then manage it a little bit differently. And maybe we'll have the strength to speak up if we feel that that is something that we can do or need to do in order to assert ourselves appropriately, so we can be very clear that we're not welcoming in energy like that in our fields. But I'm going beyond that, because I feel that if we heal it in these other areas, I feel like, you won't necessarily be in that situation where you'll have to. But if you are, certainly please follow your own intuition and judgment and be discerning. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. This is just information, and you have free will here. So just, do, of course, whatever you feel you need to do to keep yourself safe at all times. Okay. So, this feels really, really good. So, I feel like it'll also protect and allow you to keep manifesting this brand new beginning here that you want in the physical. That'll be highly, highly successful and abundant. Okay, this is you right now. You're at the Nine of Pentacles, and this is why you're very much talked about. You're peculiar to most in the sense that you are breaking societal archetypes of this feminine energy that just kind of falls into these old roles. And I'm not saying people that are doing that right now are doing anything wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I am channeling people, goddess feminine energy that's here to break free from that old matrix, that's here to create a different template. Okay. And I'm not saying that you are anti-relationship. That's not what I'm saying. Right now, you're not in a position yet to be in that higher vibrational relationship, because there's still a little bit of trauma here that needs to be healed, but certainly you are wanting that. I am not channeling here somebody that doesn't want that. I'm saying that it's just not quite ready yet. That's why you're at the Nine of Pentacles. But certainly when you do attract that higher divine counterpart that has that sacred template attached to it, you are going to embody a relationship in a way that is new, or it's an old way of interacting that needs to come back, because we need to have a higher vibrational way of interacting with each other that has a higher level of respect, a deeper love, a spiritual love. Okay? And you have to be independent and healed first individually. And when you attract somebody else that's like that, that union will be stronger and healthier. And that's what we want to teach the people around us. And if you have children, that's what you want to share with your children. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. And that's safeguarded here. It's being shielded here by this crystal. This is your destiny. This is your right, and Archangel Michael's protecting it. Okay, and it's already been manifested. That's why it's way over here. And you've done so much work to get to this point here. This is today, okay? Right now. All right, we're succeeding here. So we've made it through that blocked, that hump, that point where I would constantly get stuck earlier and I just couldn't get there. We finally did it. So that's fantastic. So I'm just gonna bring in more crystals here. So I'm just healing the way that sacred medicines are misunderstood, misinterpreted, and not necessarily used properly and or disrespected. Okay, it's not just something you take and just kind of in an inconsiderate way use without thought. Okay, sacred medicines are to be treated in a sacred way. All right, they come from the earth. Everyone has the right to use them. I don't believe that a medicine that comes from the earth is only to be used by a group of people that say, well, that's only for us to use. No, I don't believe that. When I hear something like that, there's an imbalance. Sacred medicines, anything from the earth, is to be shared with everybody. Knowledge is to be shared with everybody. Where I think people perhaps misrepresent what they're trying to share and why they're upset and why they're probably trying to hold on to it is because of the misuse of it, is because of the way that it's handled and managed. So instead, I challenge people to educate, speak up, share more, take the time to explain. That's what I do. That's what I do. When I share something and when I use something, if it's in a group setting, especially if there's new people, I take a little bit of time to explain the way that I interpret it, the way that I was taught, the way that I was shown by my guides, and that's all I can do. I don't impose it on anybody. I don't tell anybody what to do. That's not the way I approach anything ever. I simply share my experience, my belief. Okay, that's all. That's the way that I approach things. So there's something that was kind of struggling here in regards to sacred medicine. So I have a very beautiful fresh piece there of Palo Santo, and I'm careful with where I purchase it. Obviously, I don't have access to the Palo Santo tree because originally those trees are only supposed to be harvested from trees that have fallen. And, with the popularity of this item now, I'm not sure that that's always being respected and honored. So I don't think the sourcing of that medicine is always on the up and up. But I think that there are attempts, however, to try and safeguard that tree so it doesn't go extinct, right? Which is good. So I'm really careful. I try to expand my medicines by using other ones as well, to not overuse it either, knowing that there could be an issue with it out there in the world. So I love flowers and cedar wood. I'll use sandalwood, cedar leaves, but sometimes the wood as well. And then I use sage, and I grow my own sage as well. And so there's different ways to use it. And then there's liquid form as well. I have a mixture of liquid too that I use in spaces where I'm not allowed to smudge with smoke, just to make sure that I have access to things to help me get through my day and continue with my practices even if I'm not at home. So, all right, sorry, I don't know why I went off on a tangent there, but hopefully that's helpful to you if you're encountering some issues with that. But let's see here what's happening with this energy. So I feel like, people are very open to receiving now. And so if you've been shy and scared to speak about certain things, don't, because I feel like people around you are more open. Maybe they weren't before, but we're moving past that now. And you'll be protected. If you're of service in service here, you'll be protected. You will. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you'll be protected. Okay? And I feel like this is you then going on your way to share, right? And this is the protection I'm talking about. Okay? You're shielded. You'll be fine. But it's not going to be easy. But I feel like for most of us, I'm channeling to some different groups here. The ones that are over here have already done this, okay? And you're over here. There's others that I'm channeling, so I'm really happy I'm attracting different groups. That's fantastic. So if you're a younger viewer, welcome. And so just know that if you're here, you can do it. I promise. I promise. It gets easier. The more you become confident and the more you practice your skills and the more you share out there, you'll see it over time, though. It'll affect change. It will. It will. Be that beacon of light you're meant to be, okay? Shine your light. So let's see here with that beautiful cat, infinite creativity. I tap into my infinite creativity, expressing myself freely and joyfully. Okay, so that's what I was just saying. Okay, that's wonderful. That's confirmation that yes, do that. Mystical light. I am a beacon of mystical light, guiding myself and others towards positivity. Okay, that's confirmation here. Okay, that's who you are. If you weren't sure, if you were asking, like, who am I? What am I? Where do I come from? That's not for me to answer, but certainly just as a confirmation, generally speaking, that you do carry beautiful light and very prescribed codes here, this is confirmation of that. I feel like this is galactic. I'm picking up galactic energy here. Lots of galactic codes. And if you're open to receiving, focus on these crystals here and you'll unlock those parts of you that are ready to connect to the galactic energy that's out there, and you'll then be guided to information and you'll feel different. You'll know when that's happening and you'll learn something new. And in meditation, you might encounter other energies that are galactic that'll help you. They're so advanced that I always find it very interesting and I always learn so much. So I'm just giving a second here for people that are wanting to do that, okay? All right. Your hair is going to be protected. I see your hair here, and I was wanting to take it off, and they're like, leave it, because it's going to offer you a clearing for your hair. So if you've had struggles with hair in any way, usually with spiritual awakenings and the ascension process, your hair will go through a transition where you'll probably lose a lot of it or it'll stop growing for a period of time. But just know that's the transformation that's occurring. So you're kind of being held in that space for a period of time to transmute all the dark energy that would otherwise make you ill, okay? So then eventually when you're done that process and you're free and you move on your timeline, you'll see a shift with your hair. It'll change, it'll grow back, it'll be longer, fuller, thicker, okay? We can't prevent the aging process. However, we can certainly make it as healthy as it can be as you grow, okay, and as you age. Congratulations. That's a beautiful gift here to receive today. So radiant spirit. My spirit is radiant and it shines brightly through all I do. Yes, this is your mission work and this is your protection here. Oh my goodness, I'm hearing clapping. It's fantastic. Holy, I'm just so happy. So we're not done. Your divine counterpart will have access to the same healing and information that you're connected to. If you haven't met yet and you've been kind of connecting spiritually, energetically, it's still 100% available to that other person through those cords and through the way that you do connect. So we can share that energy with the other person, because this could affect both you and the person that you're trying to manifest in the physical here to bring in the 10 of Pentacles. And maybe that's why it hasn't fully manifested yet, because you both, perhaps one or both, need this. So let's extend that to your counterpart. And then I want to pull some of my stained glass tarot that I'm seeing here in my peripheral vision to provide us with more information and messages from our divine counterpart. Because I know oftentimes we tune in for that And sometimes, and for the most part, I do channel them, but today was only about you for the most part, viewer. And so if you're ready and you're wanting to hear, then you can just stay on, and I'll pause and I'll pull the cards. And if we have some people that are going to leave us at this point in the reading, then I wish you all the very best for your day and your journey. And take some time to rest, drink a lot of water, and always be active. So I know oftentimes when we're tired, we don't want to, but when you're doing work like this, it'll help the healing process to go more quickly, in the sense of it flowing where it needs to flow, okay? It won't take as long if you move. But if you feel like you can't, you need to sleep and rest, then that's okay. You're just healing at a deeper level, and your soul that's needing to go further back in your timelines, in your lives, and there could be multiple lives, and that process does require you to be in a sleep state, okay? And that's okay as well. You'll know. I'll pause and I'll come back. So 1 second, okay? All right, welcome back. I pulled quite a few cards. I lit a candle. So a lot of us are needing some light to help us and to guide the way, because I feel this is a very sensitive area right now. It's very tender, and it's very tenuous. I feel like you might have right now 2 people that have presented themselves in your life for a romantic potential relationship, and maybe there's been a lot of back and forth and uncertainty with and mixed messages involving you and each one individually in the way that you're presenting to one another, okay? I'm not getting a 3-party situation, in that nobody is in an actual formed relationship that I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about somebody that's in a committed relationship in any capacity, marriage, common law, otherwise. No, that all of those relationships would have ended. You would have then at some point carried on with your life. You would have met somebody, and then it didn't form into an actual committed relationship yet. So you've talked to each other, you've had encounters, spent time together, but you haven't had the conversation to determine, are we in a relationship? What is this, right? So, and it's probably because of the healing that was required, like what I was talking about earlier. So the message I was getting is that I've cleared the way for you to be able, and these other 2 people, to be able to figure this out, and to decide how it is that you want to move on with your life, okay? So you are in control of your life, viewer. So just know that even if you're waiting to get information from the other person, ultimately it's going to be up to you to decide. Because I feel like the 2 people are fixated on this as being their main manifested hope and dream and thought of a relationship. They just haven't been able to step into it yet. So even if there's other people on their side as well, you're the main one, meaning you carry everything that is the best possible match for them. Okay. It's just that devil card came out. So there is definitely an unsettling energy that's been present here that I don't think was appropriate. And it could be because of the trauma over here from before. Okay. And it could have been transferred from one person to another perhaps as well. If this is an actual entity or energy that is lingering around here, we can't have that stuff be there. So if it came through, however, it doesn't matter. Nobody's to blame here. It's just we need to identify it and clear it to heal it. So there's cards for Yeshua that are, again, that I'll pull in a second, but because he'll help us clear this out of the way. But just know that you're choosing joy in your life over these addictions here. And if there's somebody that's struggling with an addiction, just know that they're fighting really, really hard to be able to overcome that, to be able to choose the life that will bring them true joy and happiness. Because they do want to spend time with you again. So if there's been a period of no contact, they're wanting this, and they're going to come and talk to you about this. The Fool's here, so it's a brand new beginning. So that again, speaks volumes to where it landed here with there isn't a refusal here to this. There isn't a rejection. They don't want to be bored anymore. They're not stunted. They're not like distracted. They're not in the clouds. It's very clear here that they want this new beginning. They're standing up. They're ready to go. So they are facing too, and they understand that perhaps the way that they were behaving was toxic, and maybe whatever they were doing or wherever they were stuck or wounded, now they're going to be able to overcome that. Okay. Because the Page of Cups, I stood up, and we see all page energy, which makes sense with the Fool card, right? Because this is a brand new beginning. They're stepping into these energies probably for the first time, so it's new. The Two of Swords tells me, and it's behind this person, that the confusion is in the past. What I was just describing, everything I was just describing, I feel is this energy here, and it's in the past. And so they've made a decision because they've turned themselves around, and they're like, okay, I want to come and share emotionally. I know I want to share in the physical, and there's answers that I need to provide in terms of what I want here, what I want to do. But I'm getting they choose you. I heard a companion, and then I'm hearing party, like a gathering, like celebration. They want to celebrate with you. It's very, very, very strong. And maybe, and I'm getting another message, this could represent the two men as well. One is willing to stand up more for this union and for you and for themselves to be able to be authentic and share from a heart space. Whereas this one here could have been a little bit more manipulative. Maybe he was the one that was more confused and was stuck. And maybe this is the one that was dabbling with addictions and maybe made you an offer, but it wasn't enough. And you knew that. And that's why you didn't really maybe fully commit, or there's something that went wrong here. But that Chariot's there. So no matter what happens, the three of you will be able to move on with clarity once I feel this person shares whatever this is. And it might be at this gathering here. I'm getting, okay, this is two separate energies. I'm now channeling this one. The healthier one. This one here has worked really hard and is really razor sharp focused, because do you see? He's focused on moving forward here. And he's in charge. He's the one driving the ship here. And he knows that he needs to be the one to do that. He holds the codes to be able to guide this union, if you choose him, in the right direction, only for a short period of time, because I think he knows that you're healing this, and that's okay. That's okay. But he couldn't step into this energy until he was ready, and he was fully able to do it. And I'm getting he's not fighting with people anymore, so that fighting card's behind him. He's focused on the crystals. If you've given him crystals in any capacity or spiritual anything, he's focused on that, razor sharp focused, and it's guiding the proper way. Do you see how this is elevated here? All right, they want me to pull more cards. Oh, it's right there. I don't want to touch that Chariot card. Okay, no, I'm seeing another deck. 1 second, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm really happy to see I pulled some cards from Yeshua's deck, so we'll finish with those. They're in the back there, but there's these little cards here. I forget what the deck is called, and so I'm just going to carry on because I need to wrap up here and get going with my day. But we have repeated cards that came out. That Three of Cups is where we're going to end, but we'll start here with the Tower, Five of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. This is the energy that you are leaving behind, and it's causing a tower, because I feel like for some of you, you've already made your choice with these men here. And it caused a tower for the one that was left behind. And he has to go back to the drawing board, because this is where he wanted to leave you, the one that was stuck here. the Page of Pentacles, because he didn't give enough, he wasn't honest, and it wasn't fair. So it left both of you with a significant lack here. For a period of time, this was you, but you pulled yourself out, and by doing that, you've attracted, and you will attract, if you're on your way, this main love here, this true love. Okay, even if that was your twin you left, that's okay. That's okay. You cannot sacrifice yourself for the sake of somebody else ever. Never, ever do that. And I speak from experience because I've done that for a very long time. I did it for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And it's not that it was a mistake, or it's not that it was wrong, but after a while, it did become a situation where it was dire, that I was on the brink of being lost like him, to the point of no return. Because when both are stuck like that, the other, I feel like it's not good. I don't want to talk about that, but certainly when one can find their way, it'll give this one a chance. I'm talking energy. I'm not talking about physical relationships. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay? It's your connection to source, what I'm talking about, because you're an energy that comes from source. So again, I'm not getting that because you didn't choose to be in a relationship with this person that you're going to abandon them. That's not what I'm saying. But you're going to have healthy boundaries. And that could be that you never talk to this person, the physical, again. And energetically, you just wish them well and you send them energy when you can, if you can. That's great. And that's for each and every person out there to decide for themselves. And if you don't want to, then don't. I'm not here to tell anyone to do. But certainly you've succeeded here in doing that, because you've moved on. And your focus is this beautiful love here. And because of that, do you see the truth here? It's imminent. It's coming in quick. There's something that's coming to you. So this person, I feel, started, and then there was a few hiccups, and they're needing to come back because they owe you information that they were withholding. Not in a devious way. It's just they didn't feel comfortable and they weren't ready. And I'm glad they didn't, because it probably wouldn't have been the right time. Because if you were still confused or struggling with this energy here, it would have perhaps created or something. I'm hearing like something was embedded or would have been embedded there with your attempt to go over here that would have held you back. And you don't want that. And there's a reason I use the word freedom at the very beginning of my reading, with healing the trauma over here from earlier, okay? So I feel like, where was that? Oh yeah, the Three of Cups. I feel like your Three of Cups now will be safe with this person here. Let's put it right beside him. And this is what you're manifesting. And you're blocking now anything nefarious from the past. There won't be any more towers because you're letting this person go. Congratulations. I know how hard that is. I know how hard that is. So you're also clearing the space between the time period between this next get together and the ability to move forward. So you see a double chariot. So we're going to move here. Everything closer together. I want everything touching, okay? And we're going to stand him up because he's ready. Yeah, so see how it's leaning back? You're leaning back towards feeling more comfortable with an encounter with this one again, as opposed to this other one who's been laid to rest here. And he feels the same way. He's solid. I feel he's really busy though, and he's doing a lot and he's lots to do. This is a busy time of the year, so just do you. I know it's hard. I know you feel it very deeply, but you need to then tap into and go internally meditate even more. Show yourself all that love that you need, and you'll be okay. Be patient. Be patient, and don't make any big life-changing decisions on a knee-jerk reaction. If you're wounded, if you're angry, when you're in a low vibration, you can't step back until you feel comfortable and you have a clear mind. Okay. I also moved the candle here as well to the right side, so we're clearing the way for people who are ready to move forward. And the direction here my table's in, it's right to the door of my home. So, you know, very soon that door will open and you'll have access to whatever it is that you need to get on track here. And it's the truth. It's the truth about this beautiful love here. You're standing up and you're ready. So I want to actually stand you up here. Okay. And you're both magicians and you're going to safeguard this conversation. You're going to be smart about it. You know, it's not something you go out there and talk about. Okay. There's a nefarious one here that's trying to mess with this, but she's being sent back. She has no access to where you're going. Do you see the separation here? No. No, 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 no. We're going to do this. There you go. So she will not succeed. Because this is your destiny. Oh, I was hoping the 10 of Pentacles would come out. It did, look. And that's going to be put to rest there. Yeah, this is stress, right? This is that woman there and this other one, like all these people, like, no. But we're going to send them some love and light and some protection here for when they sleep, okay? This crystal will help. You see faith on my cup? I also cleared my cup earlier with my crystal tuner when I accidentally hit it here. And Metatron's here, so we're going to reset the grid. Oh, do you see that? There's a bit of a resistance here. No. We're moving forward. So Yeshua, here we go. Your faith hath saved you. Go in peace. Seek and you shall find. So this is, again, exactly what I was talking about with the conversation and the beautiful encounter you're going to have with this person. It's going to give you the information you need to be able to both feel good and move forward. However you move forward. If you decide, you know, I'm going to just be on my own and move on and let this person go and manifest somebody else, great. Closure, finally. This other one, you're not even going to talk to this person. Energetically, you've already let them go because they're very manipulative, and I don't even think the divine wants you to, because it's like mind fuckery, mind trap kind of stuff, because they're very toxic and you're very vulnerable right now still because of this work that you're doing. So no. And if this person has maybe stepped away, that's a respect of the work that you need to do. That's okay. That's okay. I hope, viewer, that you're able to distinguish between the two here for yourself, okay? This has been helpful for me, sorry. The sandstone. Oh my goodness, I love these. Let's bring one out here. And any hair accessories we're going to clear for you as well. And we're clearing the bottom right quadrant in your fields for you and this higher divine counterpart here to safeguard you on your travels to each other, your travels in your life until you come back together to talk and decide what you want to do. Okay, everything will be okay. There's no nefarious energy with gloves anymore. That's been cleared. Okay. Wow. This is powerful. So they still want me to hold space here for a few other seconds just to hold the grid space that we've created here for us to step into what it is that we're doing. For those of us who are ready and we know where we want to go, we're doing that. If you are one of the other ones that is still needing to do some of the things that we talked about, that's okay. We're also holding space for you as well to protect the work that you're doing. So you're not excluded from what I'm doing right now, okay? It's just there's different waves, so I'm channeling two different groups. I've never really done that before, this precise. It's interesting. But the portals must be in such a way that it's time right now to do it because, we can. And my Misty is sleeping right now, and I'll definitely bring the camera up to her, and she's going to gift us with an energy here of love, and she's probably receiving a healing in terms of trauma, like I talked about, because she was really struggling earlier, and I actually had to prevent her from coming up here, and yeah, she wasn't behaving the way that she normally does, so I hope she's okay. I'm sure she will be, but she's fast asleep here, and she just opened her eyes here as I was talking. All right, so let's bring the camera up to her. Hi, darling. Hi. It's okay. Go back to sleep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And that beautiful stained glass behind us here. Let's just take in those colors. These are beautiful Christmas colors. All right. So on that note, everyone, I wish you so much love and light, and we'll chat soon. Take care.